concussion coming off that thing standing right here.
Have you ever wished that your AR-15 had a little more punch? Maybe you've considered a 6.5 SPC or 6.5 Grendel upper. Perhaps you've contemplated 300 blackout. All good options. But if you're a glutton for punishment, looking for more of a mule kick to the face than a punch in the arm, welcome to 458 Socom. But don't let the tooth-shaking recoil lead you to believe that this rifle has no purpose other than a laughing good time until your trip to the dentist. It has a practical purpose. In fact, the cartridge was born out of necessity. Back in Mogadishu, Special Operations Command, or Socom, realized that faithful 5.56 cartridge wasn't dropping targets with the desired efficiency. Rather than riddling enemies with 5.56 bullet holes, the 458 was meant to be a one-shot game ender with the addition of much improved obstacle penetration. During the design phase, it was required that the cartridge would be completely compatible with M4 magazines and lower receivers. Avoiding boring you with excessive details, after exploring a plethora of large bore calibers, the 458 Socom eventually won out. And it met its goal. It truly is 100% compatible with your AR lower. Same buffer spring and buffer, same 5.56 magazines and magwell, and no modifications required. The rounds slide right into your standard magazine, single stack 10 rounds deep. I will note though, the polymer magazines have some feeding issues occasionally. Though my Gen 2P mags have worked great, and I've also had good luck with my hex mags. But the familiar AR-15 means no relearning a manual of arms and adjusting to ergos of a new platform. If you know your AR, you know 458 Socom. Until you shoot it, and scope yourself, that is. On my Rock River Arms upper here, reliability has been as expected. The vicious bolt rips right through dirt and grime, and it hasn't had any problems with full power loads. The light stuff, however, doesn't run in my gun, turning it into a single shot rifle. Still fun, but I'll shoot my 45-70 if I don't want semi-auto. Alright, clearly I've been delving into hyperbole when talking about the recoil. It really isn't going to jar your crowns loose. Standing while shooting isn't painful in the least. You do have to reset on target every shot, but it's manageable. That said, shooting prone is the absolute worst. My shoulder was bruised after the first shot, but I am stubborn and learn slowly, so I put another 20 rounds down the pipe in the same shooting position. My collarbone was a wreck and sore for a week. Well, I can officially say shooting the 458 Socom prone does not feel very good, man. It's right on my collarbone, and that's gonna leave a little bit of a bruise. It hurts. It stings. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One more. Gotta finish the group. Man up. Woo. All right. 458 Socom. Beast mode right there. Granted, the stock on this lower is hard as granite, and as insult to injury, features sharp little serrations that eat you up. I really just need to slip on a butt pad, or maybe go with something other than an A2 style stock. Now, if you have a little more meat on your bones, you'll probably fare better than I did. When I shot it from the bench again, that problem wasn't there. It's just that angle was shooting prone. And this really isn't the first rifle to beat my shoulder up while lying on the ground. In the end, I'd say I'd probably do it again. As much as it hurt, it was still fun. And after that agonizing range session, I did find the accuracy was pretty impressive. I shot a lot of different types of ammunition, but the average grouping was probably around 3 MOA, down closer to 1.5 with some of the nicer ammunition. And man, testing this rifle was hard on the back pocket. You really might want to reload. Factory 458 is really spendy, to the tune of 50 or 60 bucks a box of 20. Then again, 20 rounds provides buckets of enjoyment, and that might be all you need to scratch that trigger finger itch. So, the 458 sounds like something you might enjoy. Now you just have to decide if it's worth passing up on its main competitor, the 50 Beowulf. I can say the 458 does have some distinct advantages. With 50 Beowulf, you're limited to 7 rounds compared to the 10 rounds in a standard 30 round mag you get in the 458. Plus, 458 incorporates tapered cases, which in theory should provide improved feeding. And if you are going to reload, you have better options as far as projectiles over the 50 Beowulf, as pretty much anything you can load into the 45-70 works with the 458 Socom. But then there's the big negative. You can't tell your buddies it's a 50 cal, so there's that. Though it is hard to complain about the ridiculous diameter of the 458. Pick your poison, they're both going to be a blast. I already stated the 458 is a great obstacle defeater. It's also going to create some massive cavities, especially with the hollow points. Definitely incapacitating targets. All right, I've got 3 canisters of shaving cream set up downrange here. I'm first going to hit it with 223. I've got a Tavor right here, and then I'm going to follow it up with a 458 Socom. and see what kind of a difference there is. All right, here goes the Tavor. All right, that was cool. Made quite a mess. I don't see it being that much different with a 458, but it could surprise me. And I'll go ahead and finish it off right here. There's still pieces falling down right now. Oh man, there is nothing left. Let's go check out the carnage. And yes, the 458 was designed with war in mind. Thankfully for most of us, shooting a human being will never be a necessity. Hunting, on the other hand, well, that's a more likely utilization. And it will take down an elk, even a grizzly, or anything else living in North America for that matter. It's also a semi-auto replacement for your brush gun. That big fat bullet will blow right through brush and bushes, twigs, branches, you name it. When it meets that resistance, it's not going to keyhole, it's not going to get knocked off course, it's going to hit your target. But the 458 won't be coming along to any 3-gun match or tactical carbine course anytime soon. To me, it's still a specialized round with limitations that disqualify it as a primary self-defense weapon. In a specialty role like having a man or two armed with one in a squad would definitely be beneficial. But I like my mag capacity, weight savings, and fast successive rounds on target too much to ditch the smaller calibers. But despite the California-style mag capacity and excessive muzzle rise, this thing is kicks and giggles to shoot. Think of the first time you shot an AR. It brings that happy kid right on back. And that might be worth a couple bucks a round. So finally, whether you're blowing through cinder block, fighting terrorists, bringing down a Kodiak in Alaska, huffing through the forest when you need something that's going to defeat the brush, or wearing your shoulder out at the range like I did, the 458 Socom is a welcome addition. Man, look at that. It shifted that entire plate. You feel like you're shooting a man's gun with this thing. Top. Oh man. These things are almost comical.